with the number 3 pick. I think they really like Cam Ward. We saw Joe Shane there at the pro day, but they're not going to get Cam Ward because Tennessee really likes him. And let's harken back to that one game, that meaningless game against Indianapolis, where the Giants finally got good quarterback play, and they won a game. And it seemed like a ho-hum game at the time, but it wasn't a ho-hum game. If the Giants had lost that game, the Giants would have been in position to select Cam Ward with the number 1 pick in the draft. So I know people don't believe in tanking. I don't believe in tanking, but losing strategically, you can use another phrase for it, sometimes pays off. If they really like Cam Ward and they cannot make a deal with Tennessee, that one stupid win, meaningless win, cost them the number 1 pick in the draft. And what did it mean? I don't think that would have cost Joe Shane and Brian Dable their jobs. 2 wins, 3 wins. What's the difference? They still kept them. And by keeping them and putting the harness of, well, you got to have meaningful games in December, I want to see improvement. Well, that's why you have to sign a guy like Russell Wilson. That's why you have to sign a guy like Jameis Winston. What does it all mean? If they weren't in a must-win situation, would these guys have been signed? What does Russell Wilson make the Giants? Because Russell Wilson missed the first 6 games for the Steelers last year with a calf injury. Then he came in and actually played very well. Now, I don't know if age caught up with him or what, or competition level, but he lost the last 4 games of the regular season. Then he lost in the wild card game. Didn't play poorly in the wild card game, but he lost 5 straight games. So let's take a look at the Giant offseason, shall we? They desperately wanted Matthew Stafford. They came to an agreement on compensation to the Rams, and they came to an agreement on compensation to Stafford, probably around $50 million a year. And then Stafford said to himself, wait a minute, what am I doing? Why am I going to this team? Why am I going to this team? I'll stay with the Rams. And that's what he did. Rams have a chance to go to a Super Bowl. The Giants have a chance to win 6 or 7 games with great quarterbacking play. So that was it for Stafford. Then, seemed like they went hard after Aaron Rodgers, and on the side, they kept Russell Wilson in play. Aaron Rodgers, for some reason, now I've been in his corner about taking the time that he needs, but now it's getting to the point where all the music is stopped and there's one chair remaining for him. And that chair belongs in Pittsburgh. He going to take that chair or not? Giants didn't want to wait anymore. Right till the end, everybody. I said this from after he tore his Achilles with the Jets, because I was on board with them getting him. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to rewrite history. Right from that point, he is a distraction every second of the day. You never know what he's going to say, what he's going to do, how he's going to react to things, what he's going to demand. And now he has waited. He's thought about things. He's walked on the beach with a shawl around his shoulders, and he still hasn't made a decision. Maybe the Giants know he's going to the Steelers. Maybe the Giants know he's going to retire. But they didn't want to wait anymore. So Russell Wilson it is. What does it mean? Really, what does it mean? You know, Malik Neighbors will be happy. Slayton will be happy. And you know why? Throws a great deep ball. But his great play, where he went to 2 Super Bowls in the first 3 years of his career with Seattle, those days are over. He was pedestrian with Denver, and he was okay last year with Pittsburgh. So what are the Giants getting? They're getting a stopgap quarterback. That's not great. That's not elusive. That's not the quarterback that he once was. Giants are a mess. Listen, I don't hate the signing because, you know, what else is left for them? Joe Flacco? Starting Jameis Winston? So you do what you have to do. And they signed the best available quarterback, or the one that was willing to make a decision, as Aaron Rodgers continues to ponder. Giants are going to finish last in their division. They're not better than Dallas. They're not better than Philly. And they're not better than Washington. And getting Russell Wilson didn't do anything. It stopped the bleeding just a little bit. They're probably not a 2 or 3 win team. Maybe 5 or 6. But the big question is whether or not this means they are not going to select a quarterback in the draft. My guess is they won't. Not in the first round. Now, they could trade up from the second round into the first round and maybe get Jackson Dart. Maybe they do that. But they are not taking that number 3 pick, I don't think. Even if Shedeur Sanders is available, I don't think they're going to pick him. I just don't. Because now Sanders knows, and his dad Dion knows, that if he goes to the Giants, he's going to be sitting behind Russell Wilson. Now, it didn't work out badly for Eli. Eli sat behind Kurt Warner, a future Hall of Famer. And whether we want to admit it or not, Russell Wilson's a future Hall of Famer. 10 Pro Bowls. I mean, the career numbers are pretty good, but there has been a clear deterioration of skills. It's funny, when the news came out, I felt kind of empty. I mean, what does it mean? Really, what does it mean? They're a franchise in disarray. They're almost an embarrassment. I mean, look at the quarterback room right now. Russell Wilson, Jameis Winston, and Tommy DeVito. And your coach is supposed to be a great quarterback whisperer. I don't know. I don't exactly know what to make of it other than feeling, It's like you ate an meal. Okay, you got the nutrition you needed, but it's I don't feel any joy. I don't feel any disgust. You guys heard what I felt about Jameis Winston. I don't get it. I don't think he's a leader in the room. Every team that had a chance to keep him as a leader in their room to mentor a young quarterback, they didn't keep him. Sean Payton didn't keep him. The Browns didn't keep him. So you got a guy who I used the phrase yesterday, some people push back on it, a little bit of a goofball. I've been thinking about it, talking with friends. Nobody can come up with a quarterback that was successful that was a goofball. It's a very serious position. Now you got another quarterback, Russell Wilson, who's an irritant. Seems like his teammates don't like him. Mr. Unlimited. I mean, in my daughter's vernacular, he's kind of cringe. That's what he is. He's kind of cringe. How many quarterbacks do you know? Think about it, everybody. So I asked you yesterday about how many quarterbacks were goofballs. How many quarterbacks were cringe? We're like, ooh, whoa, that's awkward. Now, you could say one of them is Russell Wilson. He won a Super Bowl, and then he was a Malcolm Butler interception away from winning 2 in a row. Had a chip on his shoulders, 3rd-round pick out of Wisconsin, the whole deal. We know the story. But that is not an impressive array of quarterbacks for the Giants. This is what they've come up with, Shane and Dable, in a must-win season. Not must go to the playoffs, but must win some games. Must win some games. It's not thrilling me. What's it doing for you? 1-800-919-3776. 1-800-919-3776. Mets and the Yankees open their seasons tomorrow. Mets are in Houston. Yankees are at home against Milwaukee. Should be good stuff. Time for you to join in. Be the co-host until we have Joe Buck on 1-800-919-3776. So I made sure to tune into a TNT yesterday to watch Miami hosting Golden State because Jimmy Butler was returning to Miami since getting traded. And sometimes you feel bad for fans and you feel bad for teams where they're treated poorly by a player. But then when I saw what happened yesterday, everybody gets what they deserve. Jimmy Butler was suspended 3 times by Miami before he was traded, demanding an extension. Heat didn't want to give him one. Got into a back and forth with Riley. Looked like he put his personal issues above the team winning. He pretty much quit on the team. And Jimmy Butler's a great player, so I'm not disparaging his play. But he quit on the team. There's a guy who took Miami to 2 finals. But what he did this year was disgraceful. So he comes back to Miami, first game back, and they play a tribute video. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Are you out of your mind? You're going to play a tribute video for a guy who quit his way out of town so they could get traded to a team that did give him the extension that he wanted. He deserves a tribute video? Now, you might say, well, he did take them to 2 finals. Well, he didn't win a final. He took them to 2. Okay? But he quit. The ending was awful. If your wife leaves you for another man, you're going to throw her a surprise birthday party the next time you see her? I mean, what is wrong with people? These tribute videos now have become laughable. You put tribute videos on for somebody who's been there a long time, an all-time great, not for somebody who quit on your team. And then the Miami fans, a bunch of doofi. That's the plural for doofus. They gave the guy an ovation. He quit on them. He left their team. What's with people? There are no ramifications anymore for bad actors. There are none. None. Because somebody's always going to stick up for them. Why would you play a tribute video, and why would you give an ovation for a guy who quit on your team, who demanded to be traded from your team? I don't feel bad anymore. I don't feel bad for teams. I don't feel bad for sports because Jimmy Butler quits on Miami, and you know what? There's Golden State waiting there with a golden parachute, $110 million extension. Make you throw up. And then the fans, who he essentially quit on, they give him a standing ovation. You get what you deserve. Every single one of them. You get what you deserve. Every single one of you get what you deserve. Teams, fans, the whole deal. Players could do what they want. They can act the way they want, and there's no payback. Nothing. Nothing. Tribute video for a guy who quit. Think about it. How ridiculous that is. He didn't do right by your franchise. He did wrong by your franchise. And you honor him when he comes back? You look like a bunch of clowns. A bunch of clowns. 1-800-919-3776. We'll start with James in the car. James.
Yes, hi, Mike. Good afternoon.
How you doing?
Okay, wanted to get to the mess, exactly what I was talking about, friends, as a mess. So we could get Justin Fields was the first choice for the Steelers. Russell Wilson, 4 teams in 4 years. You know the whole story. They're a complete mess, and it starts with Mara. If this was going to be the plan, then he should have got rid of these 2 guys. Okay, last year. What is the plan? They're not going to show that they can develop a young quarterback because it doesn't look like they're drafting one. They're going to be out the door, and we're going to start fresh. And go look at that schedule. And I know people say it's far away. Look at that schedule. I see 4 wins tops in that schedule. Okay? So they're going to be out the door, and we're going to be right where we started with this year. So this a complete waste. Frustrated, I vented, and I starts again with Mara. It starts with the top on down. 0 leadership, 0 plan. Thank you, Mike, for the time.
You got it, James. It's hard for me to argue with you. I don't think that John Mara has distinguished himself. I just don't. I don't get it. You either give these guys an extension and let them work their quote-unquote magic, or you fire them. You don't bring them back with the demand that they have to have important games in December. What is it going to prove if you win important games with Russell Wilson? I mean, what are they doing? Are they tanking for Arch Manning? Think about it. John Mara kept these two guys because he was ashamed of the last three coaches before Brian Daboll getting fired at 2 years or less. That's it. That's the only reason he kept them. He didn't want to do it to a fourth straight coach, although this time Daboll had 3 years. And I'm not advocating for Daboll to get fired. I'm saying that you've either give them some runway to work this out if you think they're the right ones for the job, or you don't. Giving them a make-good year so they bring in Russell Wilson? Even if they do it, even if they win 6 games, what does it prove? And everybody keeps saying to develop a young quarterback. Did Brian develop Daniel Jones? There's a quarterback there for him to develop. He didn't. He didn't develop him. The guy took a step back. So he can only develop certain quarterbacks, but not the one that was in-house that used the 6th pick of the draft on. Come on. Let's go to Jacob in Union.
How's it going?
Good. What's up?
Good. I just wanted to talk about the Jimmy Butler situation. I personally think it was handled pretty well. I mean, Jimmy Butler saved their franchise post-LeBron, brought them to 2 finals, so he gets the tribute video. And then the rest of the game, basically every time he touched the ball, they were booing him. So it was a fair amount of let's respect what you did for this franchise, and then now you're an opponent, and we're going to treat you like an opponent. And the analogy with the wife leaving the marriage, this is like the wife leaving the marriage when the husband is unwilling to give her a ring after she's been a pretty great wife the entire time. So I think it was kind of just the ideal situation for how it should be handled.
Well, I mean, if you're saying that the fans cheered him at first and then they booed him, I watched the whole game. I understand that. But, Jacob, a tribute video for a guy who quit on your team and forced his way out of town? Why should he get a tribute?
I mean, since 2000, it's Dwayne Wade, LeBron James, and Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler saved the Heat from falling into obscurity, to be honest.
Well, but, I mean, there are other aspects of it, too. And he didn't win championships like LeBron James and Chris Bosh and Dwayne Wade did. He took him to 2 finals. He didn't win a championship. And we're not talking about what he did after LeBron left. We're talking about the last, 3 months ago. How he acted this season for the Heat. Shouldn't be rewarded for that. How do you reward somebody for quitting on a team the way he did? And I love, they never gave him the players this year to continue to. Well, maybe they don't have the draft capital to do it. Maybe they don't have the players to trade. Who did he want? Because I'll tell you what, players are the worst GMs in the world. Players that think they know other players, they want their friends with them, doesn't mean that they fit on the team. It just doesn't mean they fit on the team. Mark and Syosset.
Good afternoon,
hey, Mark.
Michael. How you doing?
Good. How you doing?
So I'm doing well, thank you. As far as the Giants go, you're not wrong about your point about Shane and Daboll, and then they should have been given a further extension. But I think what's happening here is really they wanted Cam Ward. They know they're not going to be able to get him. I don't think they love Sanders. So what they've done is take the pressure off, which by getting 2 quarterbacks who are capable in the NFL, not great, but well, and now they can get the best pick available. They can go after Travis Hunter. They can go after Carter from Penn State and bolster their roster, give themselves some time. If they're not successful, actually it works to their benefit for the Giants because the next regime won't be stuck with a young quarterback that they picked. They will be, if they're going to be out, the Giants would again get themselves a quarterback next season with a new regime and start fresh if they have to. But I think it gives them a little bit of time.
Mark,
and they're not precluded from taking a quarterback down the road.
Okay, so you sound rational, so let me throw this at you. If by getting Russell Wilson, you won 6 games, right? Say they go 6-11, or let's go crazy and say they go 7-10. Does that prove to you that Shane and Dable are the guys moving forward?
Not necessarily, but it does tell you that they are improved. They've taken a step in the right direction. And yes, does it mean they know how to pick a young quarterback and work with a young quarterback to produce him and get him to the level he needs to get to? No, but it's a step in the right direction. And as I've been going to Giant games, Michael, since Yankee Stadium. So this is not something I'm not used to. But I will say this: in the days of Ernie Accorsi and George Young, the Giants drafts were always based on the best player available. And look how those two general managers built their franchises. And I think that that's not a bad thing, especially if you don't love the quarterback class that's coming in. And I don't think they love anybody but Cam Ward, and they're not going to get him.
Well, all fair points. But so let me ask you, as a Giant fan, going back to the stadium, as you said, should they have fired these two guys, or should they have given them 1 year to prove something? I mean, did they do the right thing?
In that regard, no, you're right. They should have extended them for 3 years or tell them they're done and let them start fresh. I don't disagree, but that's the hand that John Mara dealt us as fans. And to be honest, I am not upset about the signing of Wilson. Our quarterback room is better today than it was yesterday. That's the answer.
Yeah, Mark, that's true. And it's better than it was before they got Jameis, where it was just Tommy DeVito. But that's not saying much. I mean, that's kind of putting lipstick on a pig. They didn't have a quarterback room a week ago. Now you had a guy who's kind of out there in Jameis Winston, and you have a guy who is certainly on the downside of his career and is not loved by his teammates, according to several reports at different stops in his lifetime. Is it better? Yes. Is it a good quarterback room? I'd say no. Joe Buck coming back to baseball, at least for one day. He'll broadcast the Yankees-Brewers opener tomorrow on ESPN, and he will join us in just a moment, so stay tuned for that. Mike Lupica at 2:30. Brackets busted? New customers at FanDuel can get $200 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. That's $200 extra bucks to bet on everything from clutch shots to last-second heartbreaks, and even who's cutting down the nets. If you've been waiting to join, there's no better time. There's a tourney action almost every day, and FanDuel has amazing bet types like spreads, totals, game props, and so much more. Now, all 4 number 1 seeds remain. It's a chalk tournament so far. Which one could fall this weekend? That's your call to make, and maybe you make a bet that way. So visit FanDuel.com/K and get in on the college hoops action all tournament long. 21 plus and physically present in New York. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. For help with a gambling problem, call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369.
This is Jalen Brunson. I'll be driving in my games this season in style in my new Jeep Gladiator from Princeton Jeep. My friends at Princeton Jeep gave me the all-star treatment, and you can expect the same thing too. Just mention that I sent you, and they'll treat you like family. Princeton Jeep has tons of inventory, great deals, and all new and used vehicles. Visit Princeton Jeep at 1045 State Road in Princeton, New Jersey, or online at PrincetonJeeps.com and tell them Jalen sent you.
If you've been looking around the office of your business thinking it's time to spruce things up, you should talk to the CertaPro professionals. Here's why you should choose a CertaPro painter. Because when you choose CertaPro painters, you're not just choosing a service, you're choosing a partner in making the right impression, the right statement to your customers. Let the CertaPro professionals help you choose the right color for your office that you'll love for years to come. You can trust CertaPro painters to get the job done right. Free estimates, reliable communication, professional painting, all at the right price. Painting is the easiest way to breathe new life into your office. The easiest renovation is painting. So call your neighborhood CertaPro painter and ask about their free color consultation services. Let the CertaPro professionals help you choose the right color for your office that you'll love for years to come. Each CertaPro painter's business is independently owned and operated. Schedule your free estimate online at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C.
For a limited time at Verizon, you can get our best price ever for a single line. Just $45 per month when you bring your phone, which is less than you spend on Too Tired to Cook takeout every week. Get one line on unlimited welcome for $45 per month with autopay plus taxes and fees. Visit your local Verizon store by April 2nd to save. $20 monthly promo credits applied over 36 months with a new line on unlimited welcome. In times of congestion, unlimited 5G and 4G LTE may be temporarily slower than other traffic. Domestic data roaming at 2G speeds. Additional terms apply.
Tip off this season with the bold flavors of Pollo Campero, where every bite of their famous fried chicken is a slam dunk of flavor. Juicy, crispy, and seasoned to perfection. Whether you're watching the game with friends or grabbing a quick bite between brackets, Pollo Campero is the real MVP of game day eats. Grab a Campero box for just $12. That's a deliciously juicy chicken sandwich, 4 100% white meat chicken nuggets, a side, and a fresh drink for, that's right, just $12. What are you waiting for? Start ordering at us.campero.com.
Friends, go see Dr. Jay Shaw. He's a double board certified Ivy League trained pain specialist. Don't let your neck, back, sciatica, or nerve pain slow you down from doing all the things that you love. It's time for you to reclaim your active lifestyle by calling Dr. Jay Shaw today at Sandwell Pain. Dr. Shaw treats joint, neck, back, sciatica, and nerve pain. Dr. Shaw is also a migraine and headache specialist. Procedures involve no cuts, no scars, no incisions, or downtime. Call Dr. Jay Shaw and take a non-surgical approach with precise image-guided procedures without any pain medication. Enjoy a pain-free life. Same-day or next-day appointments are available. Go to SandwellPain.com to book online. Put an end to your pain and suffering today. Why wait any longer? Make your appointment with Dr. Jay Shaw by going to SandwellPain.com now. Regain your active lifestyle and enjoy all your favorite activities pain-free. Sandwell Pain now has 3 convenient locations in Woodbridge, Livingston, and a brand-new office in Inglewood to best serve Bergen County. Visit SandwellPain.com to text or book online. You wish you met Dr. Jay Shaw a lot sooner. Most major insurances are accepted.
Spring is just around the corner and the deals are as fresh as ever at Bay Ridge Mazda. Get financing rates as low as 0.9% APR on nearly every new model in stock. 0.9% APR. They work hard for complete credit approval regardless of your score. Plus, take advantage of Bay Ridge Plus benefits like ding and dent coverage, key replacement, windshield protection, and roadside assistance. Come see them today in Brooklyn or online at BayRidgeMazda.com.
Something amazing is happening in data management. Even though storage needs are constantly changing, companies are only paying for what they need now. That's because CDW customized a Pure Storage Evergreen One SLA-driven storage as a service solution that delivers enterprise-grade hybrid cloud storage that is effortless, efficient, and evergreen. Simplify storage administration with Pure Storage and CDW. Make amazing happen. Find out more at cdw.com/purestorage.
When you bundle renters and auto with Progressive, you can save while protecting your most valuable possessions, like your really expensive limited edition sneakers and your new suit for your cousin's wedding. Except you never actually bought the suit because you can't stop buying sneakers. So you show up to the wedding looking like you're going grocery shopping. But hey, at least your sneakers will look good in the pictures, until you're cropped out of every last one of them. So go ahead and get Progressive, so you can save while protecting the things that matter to you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Well, the Mets open their season tomorrow in Houston against the Astros, and the Yankees will open their season at Yankee Stadium tomorrow at 3 o'clock, and that will be against the Milwaukee Brewers. It will be an exclusive broadcast on ESPN, and calling the game, doing the play-by-play, back in a baseball booth, will be the Hall of Famer Joe Buck, and he's nice enough to join us now as he's preparing for that game tomorrow. Joe, how you doing?
I'm good, buddy. Should I start with I'm sorry? I'm sorry that I'm the one calling it. You should be the one calling it. I apologize.
No, ESPN took the game. What can you do? But
I know. That's what I was going to go to next. But you're the voice of the Yankees. You should be calling the first game. I get it. I've been in that spot before.
Well, I'll tell you what, though, Joe. If you want, I will give you a signed permission slip to UC on any Yankee home run, just to make Yankee fans feel comfortable.
Can I do that? I will do that. But then I'm going to get, I did my dad's. We'll see you tomorrow night. So I'll just become the parrot broadcaster, just doing everybody else's calls. I like it.
Now, what made you want to do this? Did you just miss baseball?
It's kind of a long story, but being at ESPN now, one of the executives there is Mark Gross, and he just got baseball back in his domain again, and they had two standalone games for opening day. And he's like, look, it would mean a lot to me if you would do it. I'm sure you won't. And I said, if it means a lot to you, then I'll do it. Why would I say no just to say no? There's no reason not to. And, the proverbial one-off. Like it's not I'm not auditioning for the job. It's not anything I want. I've done it. I've invaded everybody's living room for decades. I'm happy watching others do it. But when he said, "Why you do it? You can work with whoever you want to work with," and I thought, well, I'll get a Brewers guy, Bill Schroeder. I'll get a Yankees guy, Joe Girardi, and we'll have fun for a game, and then I'll disappear back into the football world. So that's kind of the way I'm looking at it, thinking about it, and that's kind of how it came about.
And for those that are listening and might not know the name Mark Gross, he is one of the best people that works at ESPN. He
really is. I'm glad you said that. He's just a sweetheart, and he's so, you know how ESPN is, and there's so much great there, but there's a lot of pressure, I think, on these, VPs and guys that are, now all of a sudden, okay, now I'm running baseball again, which is what he did when I first met him. Exercise old muscles, see if I can still do it, and then go home. The fact that it's in New York is a huge piece of it. We brought our boys up here. My daughters are here, so they're going to a Knicks game tonight. My daughters and my little boys, their brothers. So it's, not that anybody else cares about that stuff, but it kind of became a spring break, let's go to New York family thing, and they're coming out to the stadium tomorrow and watching Dad do a baseball game, which they haven't really seen much of.
So you're so immersed, obviously, in the football world with Monday Night Football. Do you follow baseball still, Joe?
I do. I mean, obviously, the big sweeping stories, but to act as if I'm sitting here reading transactions every day and I know like who the 4 and 5 starters are for the Pirates, I have no idea. I mean, that's stuff that. But even when I was doing it, and I know like who the 4 and 5 starters are for the Pirates, I have no idea. I mean, that's physically, but I think you have to stay on top of it every day. So it's been a month, Michael, of trying to get back up to speed on all that's kind of transpired since the end of the World Series up until now, and who's good and why are they good and who are the young players that we need to be watching. I'm going to keep it general, and I'm going to lean on Joe and Bill and do it, but I cannot go into any game not feeling like I'm totally prepared. So it's been a month plus of pretty hardcore reading and trying to catch up, to be honest with you.
Now, this will be a wonky broadcasting question, but how is it different calling play-by-play for football than it is for baseball? Different muscles or what?
Well, here's the other part, and this would have been my answer prior to the pitch clock, but I think the pitch clock changes everything. You know that way better than I. I've called 4 innings with pitch clock, and now I've got 2 analysts. So, what I used to say was, well, in football, you've got play happens, who made the catch, who ran it, how many yards, who made the tackle, I shut up, Troy talks, play clock's winding down. We know when the next play's coming. Back, prior to the pitch clock, it was, hey, a guy just fouled off 4 pitches in a row, and it's becoming redundant and monotonous, and what are you going to do to change it up? And there's time to talk about who's in the bullpen, and there's time to talk about the crowd size and the whatever, the upcoming schedule and everything else that goes into a baseball broadcast. So it's different in that way, I think. But now with the pitch clock, you're, as my boss at Fox used to say, and maybe I've said this to you before, David Hill, who's Australian and didn't really know baseball when he came to the States, the only crisis in baseball is the next pitch. And I think you always have to be aware that the next pitch is coming, and you have to be done before the next pitch. You can't bleed over the next delivery. So I think, with the pitch clock and 2 analysts, we're going to have to really pick our spots and, be careful because the next pitch is coming. And, I'm just excited to kind of get into that rhythm because that's a new rhythm that I'm not used to at all.
Do you agree, Joe, and I've always felt this way because I've done both, that play-by-play on radio and baseball, you're a scoring guard, and play-by-play on TV, in baseball, you've got to dish the ball. You're really not the star. Do you feel that way?
Totally. And I learned that as a kid. I remember when my dad was paired with Tim McCarver, of all people, and it was the play-by-play. My dad was coming from a lifetime of radio, and now he's doing TV, and he's doing it with Tim. And Tim at that time was the network star. I mean, he hosted the Winter Olympics. So it was, how do you set up Tim, or how do you just get out of their way to make them shine? And you're right. I mean, I think on radio, it's your mind, it's your words, it's where you want to take it. You can do anything you want. On TV, not only are you working with the analyst, but you're working with a producer, a director. You're leading to pieces. You're leading to graphics. You're leading to replays. And I think that's more the traffic cop job. But if there's a ground ball to Volpe, everybody sees that when I'm doing TV play-by-play. So I don't need to say, here's a ground ball to Volpe. Volpe to his right, picks it up, throws across the diamond, got him, 2 out. I can just say, Volpe, got him, 2 out. You know, it's just subtle differences, but I just don't think you need that many words when you're doing TV play-by-play in baseball.
I'm curious with your twin sons. They've seen Dad do football now. Are they more football fans than baseball fans?
Well, they both love playing baseball more. I've got one kid. They're twins. One kid, Blake, who is left-handed and ready to maybe spell Goldschmidt at first base for the Yankees with his hitting prowess. And then another kid who just, you know, he couldn't care less about really any of it. But if you're going to do one thing, it's let's go in the driveway and I'll pitch balls to them and they'll just, you know, hit them back at me. And I sprain my ankle trying to get out of the way. But it's two boys that I think it's just a little harder, I think, we can throw the football around, but as far as hitting anything, hitting each other is preferable to throwing a football around, let alone hitting a baseball. They both love doing that.
We're talking with Joe Buck. He's doing the play-by-play for Yankees Milwaukee tomorrow on ESPN. Let's just say, let's play this game, the what-if game. You do the game, and you fall in love with doing baseball again? Or are you calling the Cardinals and going, you know what, give me a 30-game package. I got to have some of this.
No, because at the end of my time with the Cardinals, it was ridiculous. I had whittled it down to 10 games, and I was like, why are we doing this? Just to say that I'm the Cardinals announcer? Who cares? And to just say that there's a buck calling the Cardinals. I mean, to me, it's bigger than 30 games. This is a big-time job, and whether you're doing it in New York, it gets no bigger, or St. Louis, which with regard to the radio network, it gets no bigger. It is a full-time job, and I think, you know, trying to piece it all together is just something that I think is kind of annoying to fans, and it's a little self-centered and a little, I think, silly to some degree. That, you know, I'm not doing this just say I do the Cardinals. I think it's a full-time gig, and I don't have the time for that. And as I probably told you, Michael, I mean, I feel like I did it for 35 years. I did it from when I was 19 until, you know, I was in my 50s. It's enough. And I loved it. I love it. But I think at this point in my life, doing Monday Night Football and different things here and there is more preferable, or I guess is preferable. More preferable is redundant for me. It just fits in my life better, and I'm proud of what I've done, but I'm not looking to do more.
All right. We end this with a broad stroke question. I don't even know if it's answerable, but football is obviously much more popular than baseball on a national level. You've done them both on a national level. Why do you think that it resonates more nationally than baseball does?
It's a hard question. The national question, that's the thing. That's the problem. Baseball's become very, I think, much more so than when you and I were young, where it was like, hey, who's in the World Series? Oh, my God, I'm watching the fill in the blank. It doesn't matter, the Orioles and the Phillies. That was appointment TV. It's become more like my team, I'm in it. I'm in it all year. I'm in it, and I'm going to watch games. I'm going to know the transactions. It's important to me. But once my team's out, then it's harder to get the average fan excited about the national side of it, where a fan in whatever, Sheboygan cares about the Red Sox playing against the, doesn't matter, Rays in the LCS. It's a harder sell. Why? I don't know. I think football's easier to wrap your head around. 17-game schedule. You've got fantasy football. You've got reasons to watch. And I don't know the answer to that, but that if you could figure out the answer to that, it would eliminate a huge problem for Major League Baseball. Every year when I was at Fox, it was like, oh my God, we've got to have the right matchups to appeal nationally, or to have such a big local audience that it carries a really good number. And if you don't, well, then you're probably not going to get a great rating. And baseball's got to become more universal and more national. And I just don't know how that happens in today's world.
Joe, I hope you have a great game tomorrow. A little bit of information. The Yankee star is a guy named Aaron Judge. He's really, really good. So you want to keep an eye on him. Yeah.
He's a little guy, right?
No, he's big. He's a big dude. Yeah.
He's a big guy. Big fella.
Yeah, 6'7".
Big fella.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just going to lean on the guys that were there when I was still doing games. Judge was there, so I know him. That's one guy I know. Jason Dominguez, we'll see how it goes.
Good stuff, Joe. Best of luck tomorrow. I'm sure it'll be great, and it's all on ESPN tomorrow at 3. Thanks so much for coming on.
All right, Michael. Thanks, buddy.
You got it. That's Joe Buck. So he does Yankee opening day tomorrow, and yes, has pre- and post-game coverage. So we'll have all the introductions and all that stuff like that. So you want to tune in, and we'll also have pre- and post-game coverage. And then our first game is going to be Saturday, which will be Max Fried's first game, and he'll be going up against Nestor Cortez. So that'll be Saturday, a 1 o'clock start at Yankee Stadium, our first game on Yes. All right, more of your phone calls when we get back. 1-800-919-3776 at 2:30. Mike Lupica on his usual Wednesday spot. So keep it right here, the K Show on 880 ESPN. Hey, maybe the off season, but every season is Bigelow tea season. You know I'm picky about what I drink, especially on days I have a show. One of the first things I do each day is reach for a mug full of Bigelow tea. I love the different flavor options, and it's perfect for someone who makes his living behind a microphone. Want to know what keeps me going? Look no further than my cup of Bigelow tea next to me in the studio. So grab a mug full of your favorite Bigelow tea and tea proudly. Bigelow tea, the official hot tea of the New York Yankees.
If you or someone you know needs help getting through a difficult time, start with NJ211. When you reach out to 211, we can connect you to help with housing, utilities, food, childcare, senior services, income support, healthcare, legal issues, and more. Help is available in over 150 languages, and the service is free, confidential, and available 24/7. Need help? Dial 211, text 898-211, or search nj211.org.
The New York Knicks season is underway, and Knicks fans are mobilizing at the world's most famous arena. With all the work the Knicks have put in this season, every game is full of must-see moments.
It's the three. Karl Anthony Towns.
Don't miss a minute of the action and get tickets at Knicks.com today.
Spring is just around the corner, and the deals are as fresh as ever at Bay Ridge Mazda. Get financing rates as low as 0.9% APR on nearly every new model in stock. 0.9% APR. They work hard for complete credit approval regardless of your score. Plus, take advantage of Bay Ridge Plus benefits like ding and dent coverage, key replacement, windshield protection, and roadside assistance. Come see them today in Brooklyn or online at BayRidgeMazda.com.
Ever look up at a bridge or a subway station and think, somebody's got to paint all this steel, right? That's us, the New York Structural Steel Painting Contractors Association. We partner with Local 806 to keep New York's infrastructure safe, sturdy, and looking sharp. We work on bridges, roads, rails, and everything in between. And guess what? We're recruiting. We have open jobs. From today until Friday, the Bridge Painters Local 806 holds its apprenticeship recruitment days at the DC9 Training Center in Long Island City. Show up in person. First come, first served. Only 750 applications will be handed out. Got to meet the basic requirements to qualify. Go to districtcouncil9.net or call 718-937-7440 for details. Doors open at 9 a.m. sharp. If you want a solid career with excellent benefits where your work leaves a mark on the city, this is your opportunity. Don't miss your chance this week at the DC9 Training Center in Long Island City. Join us if you're ready to roll up your sleeves and get to work.
Long Island is more exciting than ever at Jake's 58 Casino Hotel. This March, get in the game with March Mania and your chance to win your share of $50,000. Earn entries all month long. Be here on Friday, March 28th, when one winner will be drawn every 30 minutes to win $250 free play from 4 till 6:30 p.m. Then at 7 p.m., 4 winners will be drawn to each win $5,000 to $20,000 cash. Make your winning shot where Long Island wins at Jake's 58 Casino Hotel.
If gambling is a problem for you or someone you care about, please call the 24-hour toll-free helpline at 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY.
London Jewelers is hosting their annual wedding band event from Thursday, April 3rd through Sunday, April 6th. All wedding bands are 20% off. Brand exclusions may apply. The 2 by London Wedding Band Collection has something for every style and budget. Come in or call for an appointment at any of their locations. Americana Manhasset, Wheatley Plaza, Glen Cove, East Hampton, Southampton, and the Mall at Short Hills, where you can enter for a chance to win an all-inclusive 5-day, 4-night Caribbean honeymoon for 2 at any Sandals resort. The best deals are at London Jewelers from April 3rd through April 6th.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today?
I need new rotors.
When you buy 2 Duralast rotors during our spring sale, you get Duralast brake pads free.
Free?
With the rotors.
Well, that's great. What if I need extra stopping power?
You can upgrade to Duralast Gold pads for just $10.
So Duralast pads are free?
Yep.
And an upgrade is just $10?
That's right. Part of the spring sale at AutoZone.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Robinhood Gold members can now enjoy the VIP treatment, receiving a 3% IRA match on annual retirement contributions. With Robinhood Gold, the perks of the high net worth are now available for any net worth. The new gold standard is here with Robinhood Gold. To receive a 3% boost on annual IRA contributions, sign up at Robinhood.com/gold. Investing involves risk. 3% match requires Robinhood Gold $5 a month for 1 year from first match. Must keep funds in IRA for 5 years. Go to Robinhood.com/boost. Robinhood Financial LLC member SIPC. Gold membership is offered by Robinhood Gold LLC.
With NBA League Pass, keeping up with the league is as easy as NBA. Watch from multiple angles and in your preferred language. Wait, really? Oh, new guy, huh? Yeah, you get so many live games, recaps, and highlights.
So the court is my oyster.
It's your Pelican, Wolf, Bull, Nugget, Big Blue Dog, whatever you want it to be. NBA League Pass, your home for streaming hoops.
Only select out-of-market games available and local blackout restrictions apply. Additional charges and other conditions may apply. Visit NBA.com/subscriber agreement for full terms and conditions.
Hey, Game Time is brought to you by Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey, because when it's game time, it's Tully time. 7:30, the Knicks, second game of a back-to-back. They host the Clippers at Madison Square Garden. Pre-game coverage begins at 7, right here on 880 ESPN. Also at 7:30, the Nets host the Raptors at Barclays Center. The Islanders host the Canucks at UBS Arena. And the Devils are in Chicago to play the Blackhawks. Tullamore Dew, the original triple distilled, triple blended, and triple cask matured Irish whiskey. Be sure to grab a Tullamore Dew. Try the new Tullamore Dew Honey during today's action. Glasses up to enjoying Tullamore Dew responsibly. 1-800-919-3776. Let's go back to the phone, or the phones, and let's go to, let's see, Buddy Moose in Jamaica. What's up, Moose?
What's going on, Michael? How are you?
Good, good. What's up, man?
Nothing much. Chilling. Good to hear from you. Good to be back talking to you. So, yeah, about the Yankees season, I definitely see them tearing the cover off the ball, but possibly their starting rotation struggling with the lack of top-notch starters. Do you see that affecting how the season starts and the possibility of a number 1 or number 2 starter coming available before the start of July sometime with another team? I'm in the store. Pardon me. Thanks for taking my call.
You got it. I'm not sure if a number 1 starter is going to shake loose. I mean, the one that you think might be, Dylan Cease. But the Padres have every intention of contending as well. So I don't know if he's going to shake loose. And it's going to have to be from a bad team. And a bad team, do they really have a number 1 or 2 starter? Now, technically, the Yankees have a number 1 starter. Max Fried is a number 1 starter. But what made the Yankee projected rotation so good was Max Fried was going to be the number 2 starter on the Yankees behind Garrett Cole at number 1, and then Carlos Rodon was going to be 3. They were loaded. But now you've got Marcus Stroman, who was a sure thing to be traded. He's your number 3 starter. Will Warren, who did not pitch well in his limited major league opportunities last year, he's your number 4 starter. And if you look closely, he got roughed up the last 2 starts that he pitched in spring training, including the last one that he pitched against Miami. And then you got Carlos Carrasco, who had a terrible season last year for the Guardians and seems to have found the fountain of youth. So there are a lot of questions. Clark Schmidt will help solve some of that. I think he moves into the number 3 spot in the rotation when he comes back. He'll probably be back in a couple of weeks, barring any setbacks. So the pitching is going to be tough. And, you look, Milwaukee was a playoff team. They start off with 3 against them. Then they'll play the Diamondbacks, who a lot of people believe are going to be a really strong playoff contender in the National League. So that finishes up the homestand. Then they go to Detroit, a playoff team, and they go to Cleveland, a playoff team. So it isn't not the easiest start to the season, but the thing that carried them last year was they got off to a great start. Are they going to be able to get off to a great start? I don't know. The pitching is going to be a big question mark. It really is. Let's go to Jaquan in his big rig. What's up, Jaquan?
Hey, what's going on, Mike? Man, I love you, Mike. You're the best, man. You're the GOAT when it comes to this radio.
Thank you.
But I just got to disagree with you because as far as the Jimmy, I got 2 quick points I'm gonna make. One about how to fix baseball, and then the first thing about Jimmy Butler. I don't think the Heat were really wrong for the tribute because you got to think about it, Mike. He brought them the 3 conference championships, 2 NBA finals, and you can't really tell me who honestly was like a second fiddle that would have helped them get to any of those levels on a team like a LeBron James led team or Kevin Durant led team. Like he had to deal with Kyle Lowry, a young Bam Adebayo, a pup and Tyler Hero. And so I think the tribute was kind of worth it. As far as quitting, I don't agree the way Jimmy went about it, but he did try to get the contract extension beforehand. He did ask for the contract extension. They didn't give it to him. And it's almost like you, Mike. You come into work. You've been with ESPN for as long as you've been with them. You would come to work, and then when it's like your last hour of your show, they sub you out for Graza or somebody like that. That's nonsense. Like Jimmy said at a press conference, and I'm not a Heat fan by any means, but it's like he said he just wanted the joy of playing basketball back. He wanted to be in Miami. He expressed that to Pat Riley, and they didn't want to give him an extension. And it's like, and I understand when you say you don't get paid for past performances, but it's like I feel like the tribute was granted. It was
one thing, Jaquan. I'll let you make your other point. He still had a year left on his contract. They were under no obligation to extend him. That's number one. Number two, you're right. He was essentially a really, really, really good player for the Heat. But I'm not giving a tribute video to a guy who went out that way. He quit on his team. He just did. And then Miami got, they got a little silly too with what they did when they announced that he wasn't going to be starting. Obviously, Riley was ticked off at him. They both do not cover themselves in glory. But I'm not giving a tribute video to a guy who quit so he could get traded.
I respect. I agree. I agree to disagree with that point a little bit because you got to think about it too. Like something like I think Kevin Durant got a freaking tribute in Brooklyn. Like, come on, that was nonsense. But my second point, as far as baseball goes, I think it has to be a floor and a cap. The players going to have to realize that they need a cap in order to grow the sport naturally. As a Dodger fan, and I understand that kind of thing, he's a Dodgers fan. I played for the North Dodgers when we started a Little League team. That's why I've always been a Dodgers fan. But, I think it needs to be a floor and it needs to be a cap. It's not really fair for when you're rooting for a team out like Milwaukee, for instance, or something like that. They don't have the financial backing to get some of the best players. And it's like, how do you want other people to be interested in it? Basically a G League team in a sense.
Well, I hear what you're saying, but Jaquan, and we spoke about this with Passon yesterday. If there's going to be a cap after this basic agreement, then baseball's going to be shut down for a long time because players won't do it. Now, whether they're right or wrong about doing it, you can make the argument it should be a free market, which is what the owners made their fortunes on. Or you could also say the other side of the argument, every other sport has a cap, and it works out just fine. But the thing that makes it complicated is that baseball has different local revenues. So the Yankees in a big market and the Mets in a big market create much higher revenues than Milwaukee. But they don't have national television contracts the way football does, where that's the only broadcast contract, and they split it 32 ways. In baseball, the Yankees get more from the ES Network than the Brewers get from their regional. And the Dodgers get much more than the Reds get from their regional. So there's so many layers to this. So what would the cap be? What would the floor be? It would be a very, very tough thing to figure out. So if it does happen, a real cap, then I think we're going to have to live without baseball for a year. I hope it doesn't happen because I think the players are dead set against doing it. Dead set against doing it. Time now for the tournament update brought to you by Amazon Pickup. The tournament is back in action tomorrow at 7 p.m. over at the Prudential Center. That's right in our area, with Alabama taking on BYU, followed by Duke and Arizona. That was a tournament update brought to you by Amazon Pickup. Amazon Pickup is a convenient and secure way to collect your Amazon packages from locations near you. All right, the Knicks with a win yesterday. We'll talk about some of that, and also the talk about it might be better if they finish fourth than if they finish third. We'll break it all down for you. Mike Lupica at 2:30. Hey, spring is just around the corner, and the deals are as fresh as ever at Bay Ridge Mazda. Get financing rates as low as 0.9% APR on nearly every new model in stock. 0.9% APR. They work hard for complete credit approval regardless of your score. Plus, take advantage of Bay Ridge Plus benefits like ding and dent coverage, key replacement, windshield protection, and roadside assistance. Come see them today in Brooklyn or online at BayRidgeMazda.com. See dealer for details.
Serving contractors, builders, and homeowners in the tri-state area since 1987, Brooklyn Window & Door is New York City's largest stocking dealer of quality Andersen window and doors. The professionals at Brooklyn Window & Door will help solve any of your window replacement needs or applications. Visit Brooklyn Window & Door's award-winning showroom to see the complete Andersen product line, including the 400, 100, A&E series. Andersen, built, backed, and serviced like no other window.
Visit Brooklyn Window & Door at 185 30th Street in Brooklyn or call 718-WINDOWS.
Right now at Bay Ridge Honda, the Spring Into a Honda sales event is on. Come and get refreshing savings all month long. Explore incredible deals across their full lineup of Honda cars, trucks, SUVs, hybrids, and EVs. You can save thousands on a new Honda with low APR financing or drive a new Honda with zero down payment. Don't miss the biggest savings of the year during the Spring Into a Honda sales event. Plus, receive thousands in benefits and savings with their Bay Ridge Plus Advantage plan. Upfront pricing, total peace of mind. Visit BayRidgeHonda.com.
Start spreading the news. New York Yankees baseball is back in the Bronx. Come out to Yankee Stadium on Saturday, March 29th for a Yankee Stadium promotional giveaway tradition, Calendar Day. The first 40,000 guests in attendance will receive a New York Yankees calendar courtesy of MasterCard. For tickets, log on to Yankees.com/tickets. Again, it's Yankees Calendar Day on Saturday, March 29th against the Milwaukee Brewers. Visit Yankees.com/tickets today.
Juan Soto is a New York Met. Every Mets game can be heard right here. 880 ESPN, WHSQ, and WCBS-FM HD2, New York.
Spring has finally arrived, and if you think a new central air conditioning system is out of your budget, think again. Sloman's is here to change the game with our Spring Fling sale. We're now offering cutting-edge 18-SEER 2025 refrigerant-compliant R454B systems, expertly installed by our certified technicians, all at the lowest prices of the year. That's right, get started with zero down, zero payments, and zero interest for 18 months. And we're including a comprehensive service plan for the first 5 years, with annual system checks to keep your AC running smoothly all summer long. Servicing Nassau, Suffolk, and Queens County. Call Sloman's at 516-932-7000 for your free estimate. But hurry, these cool savings won't last. That's 516-932-7000. 18-month promo period, no payment, no interest, and no down payment offer. The offer is available through a third-party bank. On approved credit, interest is waived if loan is repaid in full during the same as cash period. Terms and conditions apply.
It's what you wait for all week. The three-pointers, the rebounds, the thrill of every shot. Win or lose, it's the hope that keeps you coming back. The dream that this time, it might be your year. And so you represent with anticipation and with pride. Because when the pressure's on, your support is everything. That's why the NBA store is here to support you. Check out the largest selection of official NBA gear at NBAstore.com. A Fanatics experience.
Get your yard game ready with Ego, the #1 rated brand in cordless outdoor power. Ego has nearly 200,000 5-star reviews from homeowners like you. Ego delivers the power of gas, but without the noise, fuss, or fumes. Best of all, Ego 56-volt arc lithium batteries are universal, so they fit all 90 tools. Power your yard, power your tailgate, power your life. Learn more at egopowerplus.com. Vivid Seats is your ultimate destination for basketball and hockey this season. With a game-changing rewards program and an unbeatable selection of tickets, they make it easy for every fan to watch their favorite teams and players in action. Catch every one-timer and buzzer-beating 3 live and in person from your favorite seat. Plus, every ticket is backed by a 100% buyer guarantee, giving you peace of mind with every purchase. Don't miss out. Visit vividseats.com or download the app today. Vivid Seats, the official ticketing partner of ESPN.
Yes, welcome back to the Michael K. Show, Hour 2, fastest 2 hours in sports talk. Let's be honest, it goes by fast. If you listen to all 2, at the end of it, when it's time for Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg, you go, well, that's it? Yeah, we pack a lot of action into the 2 hours. And the Knicks packed a lot of action into the game against the Mavericks. The first half, they looked like they were sleepwalking just a little bit. The Mavericks, went into the half tied. Then the Knicks held the Mavericks to 15 points. Now, this is a game that the Knicks should have run away with, and they did. And they did run away with it because the Mavericks were shorthanded. How's that trade working out, Nico Harrison, by the way? You said the window was closing? Well, it smashed your fingers. That's what the window did because you made Kyrie Irving have to play an inordinate amount of minutes because you traded away Luka Doncic. And then on the first game that he played, Anthony Davis got hurt and only came back 2 days ago against the Nets, and the Mavericks are in shambles. So one of those short window years is gone. Gone. But I digress. So Anthony Davis played against the Nets at Barclays Center. That was on Monday. And then yesterday he didn't play against the Knicks because they didn't want him to play back-to-back games. So an undermanned Maverick team, and the Knicks beat him up in the second half again. Their defense clicked in 15 points. They allowed the Mavericks in the third quarter. Knicks ran away with it. OG with a great game, 35 points, a bloody nose, the whole deal. And then 2 guys on the Knicks had triple-doubles, Karl Anthony Towns and Josh Hart. Now, Josh Hart, that was his 9th triple-double of the season, breaking a long-held record that was held by Walt Frazier. And that's the first time, by the way, that the Knicks ever had 2 guys in one game get a triple-double. So, the bench had to step up. Their role players had to step up because of the fact still no Jalen Brunson. And Deuce McBride was also hurt with a hamstring injury. So the Knicks without Brunson, in the 9 games without Brunson, they're 5-4. And while the Knicks have been treading water without Jalen, the Indiana Pacers have been playing great. And so they're sneaking up on the Knicks. So that started the conversation. Maybe it might be good for the Knicks to lose some games while the Pacers continue to win some games so that the Knicks could drop to the number 4 slot. Because they would then play either Milwaukee with the 4 spot in the first round or Detroit. Now, Milwaukee took a big hit yesterday with Damian Lillard out indefinitely because of a blood clot in his leg. So that should be a series that they could win. I think Detroit poses some problems for the Knicks. Should be a series they could win. But I think the real benefit you get from finishing 4th is that in the second round of the playoffs, you'll face Cleveland and not Boston. So the first and only time that you'll face Boston would be in the Eastern Conference Finals. But you got to be careful what you wish for, everybody. Because think about this. Cleveland's really good. Now, I know they've run into a little bit of a skid right now. Natural. Market correction. But they're really good. Are they more beatable than the Celtics? Yeah, I think so. Because the Celtics provide problems at every single position. Matchup problems at every position for the Knicks. And they do it for most teams in the East. And they do it for most teams. That's why they will probably repeat. But be careful what you wish for. Because you could get knocked out. Don't try to arrange who you're going to play. Sometimes it bites you right in the rear end. You might not get to that second round. You might not get to face Cleveland. So you win the games that you can win. You lose the games that you happen to lose. But you don't tank. You don't tank for positioning. I think it's more acceptable to tank for a lottery pick rather than be in the play-in game. Now, you can still be in the lottery if you lose the play-in game. But if you win the play-in game and you actually get in, then you're out of the lottery. So I think it's more understandable to tank for a pick than to tank for a position. Knicks can't think like that. They can't. They just got to hold ground until they get back Brunson. Hope that Brunson is close to 100%. And remember, in the playoffs, you're not going to play back-to-back games. So you're going to be able to have Mitchell Robinson in every single game. So Mitchell Robinson didn't play yesterday. It was smart by the Knicks because they figure, well, we could beat this Mavericks team. Now they play the Clippers tonight, and you have Mitchell Robinson available. But once the playoffs begin, you don't have to worry about back-to-backs. Mitchell Robinson is going to be available every single game. Jalen Brunson, you hope, is available every single game. And that he's not limited because of the ankle sprain. But please, let's stop the talk about losing on purpose to get the 4th seed. If Indiana catches you, they caught you. But not on purpose. And if you know Tom Thibodeau, he's not that guy. He's just not that guy. He's never going to be a guy who's going to lose on purpose. Doesn't make any sense. Now, I wanted to mention this yesterday, and we ran out of time. So R.J. Lewis of St. John's has a terrible game in the round of 32 game. He gets benched for the final 5 minutes. Big East Player of the Year. Do you know that the guy had to shut down social media because people were so nasty and threatening and rude to him? Are you kidding me? What is going on with human beings? And I guarantee you, all of those people that talk so tough to him, that you made this kid delete his account or suspend his account, not one of you would have the stones to say anything close to that to his face. You'd probably ask him for a selfie. And if you're going to gamble, too bad. That's on you. Don't expect him to have a better game because you gambled a parlay on him. Josh Hart has the perfect rejoinder to people on social media when they said, oh, you got to score this or this because I have you in a parlay. He goes, I don't care about your parlay. That's it. Players don't care about your parlay. If you're going to bet, buyer beware. Don't put it on the player to actually do it. Make the right bet. Evaluate it correctly. But you take a college kid, and I can't say a college kid anymore like they're innocent because they're getting paid. So there is some responsibility and ramifications if you're a professional. Then every college kid now is a professional. But nobody deserves to be spoken to like that. Nobody. I mean, I get a small taste of it at my very humble position in life. And people think that they can say anything to you. They really do. That they would be hard-pressed to say to you in person. So can you imagine as the stakes rise? Nobody has to bet a parlay on me having a good show or me having a good play-by-play game. But when there's money involved, so the people that come at me, they're coming to me purely either to troll me or they just don't like me, which is fine. When you're in the public eye, there'll be people that like you and people that don't like you. But when you're a professional player or even a college player who now is professional, you deserve to have your family derided and words said about you because you didn't perform well in an NCAA tournament game. You all got to get a life, man. You all got to get a life. I mean, you really have to act like civil beings. Like civility has gone out of life, that you think you could say anything to anybody on social media and they get away with it because there are no ramifications. Because you saw that guy in Chicago, the radio guy in Chicago, Dan Bernstein, well, he thought he was, smart to go back at people on X. And he went too far. And he lost his job. So all those people that goaded him into doing that, they're rubbing their hands gleefully in their mother's basement. Oh, look, I destroyed this guy's life. That's why I never answer people directly anymore on social media. And that's why R.J. Lewis probably did the right thing. Just shut it down. Because what do you really have social media for? You probably want to see people saying nice things about you. Do you really want to see people say bad things about you? So I remember I told Don and Peter, I gave my word. I would never answer back directly anybody who says anything. I'm not going to debate you on Twitter. If you want to debate me, 1-800-919-3776. We could have a conversation on this show. But there's a business website, Barrett Sports Media, and a guy wrote a story about Dan Bernstein. And he said, I wonder why people are actually giving their views on X, a.k.a. Twitter. You're not getting paid. That's not your job. Twitter or X needs you more than you need X. Now, I use X to promote guests on the show or whatever, or to put, things I think people might want to read. But you're never, I'd say very infrequently, ever going to see me give my take on X for free. Why should you listen to my show from 1 to 3 if I'm telling you what I think about everything going on in sports? Why? And some of the biggest names in our business do it. I don't get it. I don't understand it. It doesn't make sense. And that story in Barrett Sports Media made sense. Why are you giving it away for free? Why are you arguing with people? Why are you arguing with people that have no vested interest in your career and only want to see you brought down? That's why they want to goad you into an argument. So what happened with Dan Bernstein could happen, that they could cost somebody their job. No blood on their hands, right? They gleefully love it. And what did you get out of it, Dan? Did you get any satisfaction that you said something nasty back at somebody on Twitter, an anonymous person on Twitter? Most of the people that say nasty things, they don't even have their picture there. So players have to be smarter too. What's in it for you to get yourself aggravated? For the most part, I use X or Twitter for information. So I could see what John Heyman or Joel Sherman or Ken Rosenthal or Jeff Passanwright or Adam Schefter. And I still don't know why they even post stuff on Twitter. Why? They're not getting paid. Not getting paid by Twitter. So you're giving away your hard-earned information for free. For what? For what? So now everybody's jumping on R.J. Lewis for what reason? Hey, some broadcast news. Gary Danielson is stepping down as the lead college football analyst on CBS. Charles Davis is moving from the NFL to be the lead college football analyst. And J.J. Watt will now be in the booth working with Ian Eagle on CBS. So that is the second NFL team behind Nance and Romo. J.J. Watt could be really good. Really good. 1-800-919-3776. Let's go to Ralph in Brooklyn. Ralph.
Hey, Mike.
How you doing?
Long time. Haven't spoken to you since you moved from the drive home slot.
Welcome
Definitely
back.
missed you. Happened to be on a road trip today, and I've been listening for the last hour. Just want to tell you thank you so much. The last, I don't know how many, 15, 20 years. It was a pleasure, but I don't get the chance to listen to you now that much, but I'm happy I got through.
I'm glad you did too.
I'd love to just pick your brain. That Minnesota playoff game, has one game ever cost a franchise as much as that game?
Yeah, it turned out that it was very costly because they fell in love, and they felt they had the urgency to sign Daniel Jones after that.
I know. I told you this once before. I'm a frustrated GM. I sit on my couch. Why is it I see things that people who are paid to make the decisions, who are supposed to be smarter than the average bear, they don't see what's right in front of their nose. Daniel Jones, that season, 10, 12 broken plays where he scrambled and got out of it. He turned that into $100 million, which great. He deserves it. But at our expense, I mean, we're going to pay for that game for the next 8, 10 years. Well, go back 5 years plus.
And that's why, Ralph, and I've said this before, that's on Joe Shane and Brian Dable. They should not be fooled. And people defend them. Well, it was only a 2-year contract that cost $82 million. But that was 2 years that you didn't get a quarterback that you believed in. 2 years. And people always remember the Viking game, right? I won a playoff game against the Vikings. And then the Giants and Daniel Jones got absolutely obliterated by the Eagles. People forget that. And Joe Shane's mistake with Daniel Jones happened when he didn't give him the 5th year in his rookie contract. If he had given him that 5th year rather than a prove-it year, which he went out and got the Giants into the playoffs, you never would have signed that contract because the bad year would have been the 5th year. Because after the playoff win, there would have been one more year. That would have been the 5th year of the contract. He decided not to do that because they didn't know what they had, so their evaluation wasn't good. Or maybe they did know what they have, and then he proves, well, I could take a team to the playoffs and I could win a playoff game. And then they buckled and gave him a 4-year contract, 2 of which were guaranteed, and they set themselves back years. And they might have ruined their careers. Because if they win 3 games again this year, they're gone. They're gone. Their handling of Daniel Jones is really a big red flag to me. Because Brian Dable's supposed to be a quarterback guru. What he did with Josh Allen in Buffalo. Now, he didn't do it with Daniel Jones, and he didn't see that Daniel Jones was never going to be that great. He didn't see that. So they get lauded. Well, they only locked into it for 2 years. It wasn't much of a risk. But you set your franchise back 2 years. You didn't get your quarterback. So it's been 2 horrendous years when it didn't have to be. Dave in the car. Dave.
Hey, what's up? Thanks for having me on, Michael.
You got it.
I don't know how you're going to take this tick I have, but I don't know. There's something about urgency and desperation that cuts both ways. I think right now there's a quarterback room where it's not so much whispering with Daboll, but about execution, and you hope that the quarterback, that Wilson, can follow through. I think the wild card for the Giants is this. I think if the Giants' defense is better than most people think, if that is the case, and they can keep people somewhere between 20, 24 points, and their offense is just maybe a touchdown or 2 better, they might make this season a lot more interesting than people think. There are a number of teams who just have 1-year quarterbacks, so the sophomore jinx can be in for their quarterbacks. There are a number of teams who really don't have a solid number 1. So let's just see how things pan out. And for all we know, this could be the last call for the Dallas Cowboys and Dak Prescott, because he's just banged up and not the quarterback he used to be. Let me know what you think about that.
Well, I mean, the thing that stands in the way of what you're saying, Dave, is if you objectively look at the schedule that the Giants have this year, it's a beast. So even if they improve, I mean, how many more wins is that going to be? Their schedule is horrendously difficult. And you're saying if they could score a touchdown or more or 2 per game, that's a lot to improve. And what did Russell Wilson do over the last 3 years? 2 with Denver and 1 with Pittsburgh, that would lead you to believe that he's going to lead an offensive resurgence like that. Again, there's one thing that I like about the Wilson signing. He throws a great rainbow deep ball. And I think Malik Neighbors is going to end up getting a lot of touchdowns out of that. They might maybe unlock Jalen Hyatt's speed. Slayton's going to like it as well. But he does not have the escapability in the pocket that he used to have when he was a young man and winning a Super Bowl for Seattle. He's a different player. He just is. His escapability to extend a play is no longer there. It's no longer there. So, listen, I'm glad that you think they could be better than you think. Dallas still has more talent. Dak Prescott's better than Russell Wilson. They have more talent than the Giants. And you're right, the Giant defense could be good. Their front 7, I think, is stout. If they end up adding Abdul Carter, it becomes a real force. And I think that their secondary's gotten better as well. What are they going to do on offense? What are they going to do on offense? Let's go to Frank in Hoboken. Frank.
Hey, Mike. Thanks for having me again this week.
You got it.
I wanted to say, I mean, I'm on line with you when they signed Winston, what was it, like a week ago. But, I thought about it in hindsight, and I said, you're having a franchise, an owner and a coach doing desperate things. When you brought him in here, it was to evaluate the current roster, and if they were not convinced that you had a quarterback, they had a quarterback in the roster, you don't re-sign them, you end it in a divorce, and then you move on and you go get your quarterback. The Giants still have not answered the number one question. Is Daboll able to go find his quarterback? Is Shane and Daboll able to go find their quarterback and be the face of the franchise for the next 15 years or what have you? They still have not answered that question. So what did they do? They gave him a 1-year deal hoping they can win 7 games, and guess what? Next year, then you're putting yourself in worse position, hypothetically speaking, with optimism, if they win 7 games, and that's a big if, right, you put yourself out of position to go get your guy. So it's like you're going 2 steps forward, 1 step backwards. So it's always good. We're always going to end up in the negative, no matter how we look at it.
No, you know, they're right now, Frank. They're in purgatory. They really are. They're not in hell. They're not in heaven. So by getting Russell Wilson and they improve incrementally, if they get up to 6 or 7 wins, well, then you're not going to be near the number 1 pick. And, you know, if you had these grandiose dreams of getting Arch Manning, you're not going to be able to do that. You're just not. Now, if you're Shane and Dable, you're GMing and you're coaching for your job. The best thing for the Giants is if they have another 2-win season. So they could pick a quarterback and a better quarterback draft than this one is. But these guys need to win. So it runs counter to what's the best thing for the organization. They're a mess. The quarterback situation is a mess. And I keep hearing quarterback whisperer. And the thing that makes me suspicious, was he a quarterback whisperer for Josh Allen? Or was Josh Allen just great? Was he greatness waiting to happen? Because you had a young quarterback that was the 6th pick in the draft. And you could do nothing with him. So you're telling me I could whisper, but only with really great talent. To me, a whisperer also could turn good into really good. He didn't do that with Daniel Jones, did he? The whisper wasn't heard. So now you're telling me, well, you need a really great quarterback to be a quarterback whisperer. Then are you really a quarterback whisperer or are you a quarterback caretaker? That you happen to be on the spot at the right time. Maybe I could have been the offensive coordinator with the Bills and Josh Allen still would have ended up being a superstar. Maybe. Maybe Brian Daboll had something to do with it. And I'm a Brian Daboll fan. But you can't only be a quarterback whisperer with great quarterbacks. You don't have to whisper that much. When you tell me quarterback whisperer, you're able to make chicken salad out of you-know-what. He didn't do anything with Daniel Jones. Anything. Mike Lupick is joining us in just a moment, his weekly spot, so stay tuned for that. FanDuel giving all customers the chance to take a swing at $500,000 in bonus bets every day from March 27th to the 30th. That's this Thursday through Sunday. It's all part of the $500,000 daily home run jackpot. All you have to do is use your jackpot profit boost on a player to homer. And if they go yard, not only will you get bigger winnings on your home run bet, but you'll also get a share of the day's $500,000 jackpot. This season on FanDuel, big wins are on deck. So just head to FanDuel.com/K and look for the daily home run jackpot. Make every moment more with FanDuel, your home for betting home runs. 21 plus, physically present in New York, opt-in required, must apply profit boost token on select market. Prize pool to be split equally among all eligible participants who make the correct pick. Bonus issued is non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. For help with a gambling problem, call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369.
At Garden City Mazda, discover more about what moves you.
Our March In and Drive Out event is here.
Our inventory of new and Mazda certified pre-owned vehicles is unmatched in New York.
Embrace every unexpected turn with the new 2025 Mazda lineup. Refined performance, spacious interiors to fit your life. Elevate your driving experience.
Garden City Mazda, exhilaration at every turn, exceptional in every way.
If you're thinking about joining the Department of Corrections,
I truly feel that I should have made this decision 10 years ago.
High-paying and rewarding. Did you know that the base salary is $101,590 after the first 5.5 years? Jobs are available now. Search the words City Exams on your phone, click, then scroll to Correction Officer. Register today to take the test.
Join, discover New York City Corrections. Take the test.
Ever look up at a bridge or a subway station and think, somebody's got to paint all this steel, right? That's us, the New York Structural Steel Painting Contractors Association. We partner with Local 806 to keep New York's infrastructure safe, sturdy, and looking sharp. We work on bridges, roads, rails, and everything in between. And guess what? We're recruiting. We have open jobs. From today until Friday, the Bridge Painters Local 806 holds its apprenticeship recruitment days at the DC-9 Training Center in Long Island City. Show up in person. First come, first served. Only 750 applications will be handed out. Got to meet the basic requirements to qualify. Go to districtcouncil9.net or call 718-937-7440 for details. Doors open at 9 a.m. sharp. If you want a solid career with excellent benefits where your work leaves a mark on the city, this is your opportunity. Don't miss your chance this week at the DC9 Training Center in Long Island City. Join us if you're ready to roll up your sleeves and get to work.
Dunks, threes, buzzer beaters. There's so much NBA happening. I gotta keep up.
Easy there. There's a better way to NBA with the NBA app.
Wait, really?
Follow your favorite teams and the league's brightest stars. Be on the ball with real-time stats and scores.
Yeah?
And go behind all the drama with new docs and shows. Catch every swish, dunk, and bucket. All of this, all in one place, all for free.
Thank you.
There's a better way to NBA. Download the app today. Available on the Google Play, Apple app, and Android stores.
Peter Rosenberg here to tell you about my friends over at Bath Fitter. They remodeled my bath. They did an incredible job that was customized for my specific needs. The process was easy. One expert installer, and it was done in a day. No demo, no mess. Bath Fitter is a permanent, high-quality solution with a lifetime guarantee. 3 million happy customers like me save up to 10% or get 0% interest financing. Start designing your bath today like I did at bathfitterdesign.com. There's only one Bath Fitter.
Long Island is more exciting than ever at Jake's 58 Casino Hotel. This March, get in the game with March Mania and your chance to win your share of $50,000. Earn entries all month long. Be here on Friday, March 28th, when one winner will be drawn every 30 minutes to win $250 free play from 4 till 6:30 p.m. Then at 7 p.m., 4 winners will be drawn to each win $5,000 to $20,000 cash. Make your winning shot where Long Island wins at Jake's 58 Casino Hotel.
If gambling is a problem for you or someone you care about, please call the 24-hour toll-free helpline at 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY.
Spring is just around the corner and the deals are as fresh as ever at Bay Ridge Mazda. Get financing rates as low as 0.9% APR on nearly every new model in stock. 0.9% APR. They work hard for complete credit approval regardless of your score. Plus, take advantage of Bay Ridge Plus benefits like ding and dent coverage, key replacement, windshield protection, and roadside assistance. Come see them today in Brooklyn or online at BayRidgeMazda.com.
Who's cutting down the nets this year? Get in on all the tournament action at ESPN Bet Sportsbook. Go from tracking the latest upsets to placing bets in just a few taps. Right now, new customers can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet Sportsbook app and sign up with promo code USL to get started today. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
For a limited time at Verizon, you can get our best price ever. That's 4 lines on unlimited welcome for just $25 a line per month with autopay plus taxes and fees. You'll also get the new iPhone 16 Pro, 4 of them for the entire family when you trade in up to 4 phones from our top brands. That's a new phone for everyone, only on the network you can count on. Verizon. Visit a store today. 20 monthly promo credits applied over 36 months with a new line on unlimited welcome. In times of congestion, unlimited 5G and 4G LTE may be temporarily slower than other traffic. Domestic data roaming at 2G speeds. Additional terms apply for phone offer. See Verizon.com for details.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. Hour 2 of our radio program, and it's Wednesday, and that means we get a chance to talk to our good friend Mike Lupick of the New York Daily News. You could read him on MLB.com. He's a best-selling author, and he joins us every Wednesday at this time. Michael, how you doing?
Michael, I want you to show up with your best game today, because if not, I'm going to bench you for the last 4 minutes.
What'd you think of that? Let's start with what Patino did to R.J. Lewis.
You can't do that, Michael. And we've talked so much this season about what a great year he had, how he resurrected a once proud program. I have written repeatedly that he's one of the great coaches of all time, pros, college, anywhere. You've heard me say this. Bob Ryan called him a basketball Mozart when he was a kid coaching BU. Having said all that, you can't do that to R.J. Lewis Jr. You can sit him down, Michael. And you can get in his face, but I don't know who he had that was a better option, even on the worst day of Lewis. This kid was the Big East player of the year, and I was disappointed that he did it, and then I was disappointed in his reaction after the game, because he basically threw the kid under the bus, and then after the game basically said, "How dare you accuse me of throwing my best player under the bus?" Right.
Well, but now I look at the other thing, because you were there when Riley did not bench John Starks, and everybody ripped him for not benching him. So why is Patino getting ripped for doing what people wanted Riley to do?
John Starks was not Pat Riley's best player. Patrick Ewing was his best player. And if Patrick Ewing had been having the worst game of his life that night, Pat wouldn't have sat him down for the remainder of the game. He just wouldn't have, Mike. And again, you look at who he brought in. R.J. Lewis, here's what you're saying by benching him, that I don't even think that after the day you've had, and you know why he benched him, because he forced a shot when they had a chance to tie, okay? But you can't tell me that you're saying to the kid, I don't think you can make one more basket this season. And again, I just found it a very sad and disappointing ending. And the Starks thing, oh, come on. I mean, it was 30 years ago. It's a lot has happened in basketball, but I will go back to what I said. John Starks was not Pat Riley's best player. Patrick was. And can you imagine any scenario, Michael, where a healthy Patrick Ewing, even if he'd had a horrible shooting night, would have sat out the end of that game against the Rockets that night?
No, but I will tell you this, and I said this on yesterday's show about it. Maybe there's something we don't know, because just at the surface, it doesn't seem like the thing to do. It seems like a mistake by Pitino. Maybe he knows something. Maybe he knows something that we don't know. I don't know, because it seems so odd.
He's had 3 or 4 or 5 days to tell us that, Michael. And I'm telling you something else. And again, you know, I'm praising him and damning him at the same time. I wrote a column going into the Providence game about how this was a perfect place for Rick to begin what I thought could very well be a trip to the Final Four. But if I'm a kid that got a foot in the transfer portal and I see that happen to his best player, I'm thinking, well, why can't that happen to me? And I'll ask you one more question, Michael. After all that NIL money we heard about all year for St. John's, they couldn't find one three-point shooter?
No, that's true. I mean, it was a flawed team, and you always got the sense, Mike, that the lack of shooting, and it wasn't just three-point shooting in that game against Arkansas. It was shooting. It was even in the paint. That it was going to rise up and bite them. The defense could only carry them so far. You do have to score points in sports, and they couldn't put points on the board enough, and they were still within 2 with 4 minutes left in the game, and they couldn't do it.
It's amazing that they were in the game, except Arkansas wasn't shooting a heck of a lot better.
Right.
But I was saying to one of my sons yesterday, I've got a lot of them, so it could be Chris, could be I don't know. It was one of them. Okay, and here's the thing: we do deify coaches in college basketball, absolutely. Okay, in the run up to the game, we all did it. It sounded like it was going to be Rick against Calipari. Calipari trying to guard him on the wing. Okay, but all of that genius, how does it work out when you guys shoot 28% from the field and 2 for 22 or 21 or whatever it was from 3? You lose. You shoot like that, you lose. It was actually a testament to the heart of Rick's team and the way he'd coached them up, that they were even in that game after one of the worst shooting performances I've ever seen.
Now, I know you know Calipari well, and you know Pitino, maybe not as well, and I don't want you to betray a confidence, but I talked to a couple of people that know them, and they tried to say, well, it's not like we hate each other, but, we're not that close. Well, I think they hate each other, and I think that had to be one of the biggest wins for Calipari in his entire career.
I think it was, I'll flip it first. I think it was as disappointing a loss as Rick has ever had.
Oh, yeah.
Because of the way the city had gotten behind his team, the excitement they had created, the way they had turned the Garden into as much their house as it is the Knicks' house. For Cal, absolutely, not only as satisfying a win as he's ever had, but also Michael, it's one of the most satisfying seasons he's ever had. Everybody says Cal can't coach, and I'm thinking, well, does Bill Self got a game this weekend? Does Pitino have a game this weekend? Because he just beat them both back to back. And there's a great line that my friend Jim Patterson uses all the time: "Hungry dogs run faster." Okay, and you saw that out of Arkansas down the stretch the other day. This is as good a coaching job as Cal has ever had, and I can't tell you how pleased I am just from his side of it that he's still got a game on Thursday night.
Now, I come to you when I'm confused and I don't have answers, so this is one of those times.
No, I'm like a life coach, Mike. I'm like your life coach.
I should be on a couch, but here we go. How could college basketball allow the transfer portal to start when the Sweet 16 is going on? How can it be allowed? How is anybody thinking that's a good idea?
Michael, it's an awful idea. Michael, this sport has become the Wild West, okay? You've got coaches going into the transfer portal while their team is still playing games, okay? So why anybody would think this is a good idea, I don't know how they're going to have to legislate this, Michael, but there's going to have to be some rules put in place. I'm all for the kids making money. I am. I wrote and said for years, I wrote in my column, I said in the Sports Reporters, the only athletes who derive less from the amount of money they make than college athletes are thoroughbred racehorses, okay, because they get a stall and they get some straw, okay? So now they're reaping the benefit of all those full stadiums. But this idea that you can transfer whenever you want, however you want, whenever you want, and then, Michael, if you get there and you had a couple of bad semesters, you're already moving on to the next one. Imagine if pro sports look like this. Bill Beck used to say, you want real free agency? Make everybody a free agent every year. See how people like it.
How about Scottie Pippen Jr.? He's in the transfer portal, and his team is in the Sweet 16. It's
Mike,
unbelievable.
It's absurd. When I say it's the Wild West, it's the Wild West. And here's the thing. We can't count on the NCAA to make this right, because one of these days, all of these super conferences, it might be down to 3 super conferences, Big East, ACC, are going to say, why do we really need the NCAA? What are they doing for us that we can't do for ourselves? And then it's going to become even more chaotic. But you are absolutely right. And the thing is, we talked about the Jimmy Butler thing. You're defenseless against this, okay? Because you're not going to sit down Pippen Jr. You're in the Sweet 16.
Right.
But look at what happened with Jimmy Butler in the pros this year. He behaves badly, and how do we punish him? Oh, I know. He gets to go play basketball with Steph Curry.
And he gets a tribute video, which I opened the show with. I mean, what's going on? He quit on his team. They give him a tribute video?
It's a little bizarre, Michael. But this thing about the transfer portal, it's like, Mike, the pendulum has swept way too far the other way now. And literally, how many times do you watch college football, Michael, and you see this guy's, a 6th-year senior playing for his 4th college team? Right. We've been running downhill fast, but I do think we're running downhill, and I don't know how college sports collectively gets a handle on this, because I don't think it's good for the sports. And people now, we still talk about like Duke Carolina as a great rivalry, and it is. But year to year, people don't even know the players anymore.
Right.
And I think at some point it begins to chip away at the prestige of the sport, as popular as it is. I always go back to an old line that the great Arthur Ashe once said about McEnroe's tennis game. A nick here, a nick there, and pretty soon you're bleeding to death.
And also, it's the death of Cinderella. She's lying in a ditch. I mean, there can't be upsets anymore. Mid-majors can't afford the good players. They don't have the NIL.
And Michael, you know that the dirty little secret about the NCAA basketball tournament is they want a little dash of Cinderella, but they don't want a lot of it, because they want the kind of games that they have this weekend. I was saying to Zach Lupica this morning, it's what I have so often said, with exceptions, about this tournament. What you end up with most of the time is big state schools and Duke. Right. And that's pretty much what we got going right now.
Now, I could hear, and we're talking with Mike Lupica, his weekly segment on the show, I could hear the tone of your voice. You're excited about the Russell Wilson signing, right?
As a kid who grew up a Giants fan, Michael, I will tell you this. Who wouldn't be excited to know that your team has become a much better bad team in the last couple of days?
That's exactly what
Mike,
it is. You have 2 guys trying to save their job.
It's just, I don't know how they got themselves in this situation. I'm not even sure they're going to draft Shedeur if they get a chance to draft Shedeur, because I'm getting the sense, Michael, I don't know about you, that they're not sold on Deion's kid. And so they're just hedging their bets. Sometimes you think, when you look at their schedule for next year, that this is lipstick on a you-know-what, because maybe they're hoping, because you can't find many wins if you look at next year's schedule, because it's really hard. But any game is hard for the Giants at this point, okay? That maybe they've got a light on in the window for Arch Manning, and are hoping that somehow that the dominoes fall in a way that they'll get a shot at him, because they'll be sure about Arch, and I'm not sure that they're sure about Shedeur, which kind of is almost poetic.
But here's one thing that, I mean, they can leave a light on, but there's going to be different people in the house. Shane and Dable will be gone, so it doesn't benefit them at all. They're going to get fired if they win 2 games again.
We talked about how we didn't think that the Steelers, who have a chance to be good, were going to circle back to Russell Wilson. And now the Giants, who look to have no chance to be good, have circled back to Russell Wilson. And then they've got a guy who, I think I asked you this. I gave you a homework assignment. Has anybody ever thrown 30 touchdown passes and 30 interceptions in the same season the way famous Jameis did? I'm not sure that they have. And that's their options. And here's the saddest thing of all. They've upgraded the position tremendously from what we saw last year.
That because I didn't like the signing of Jameis, right? And so I was talking with my son about it. He's 10, and he goes, "Dad, he's better than Drew Lock." And I go, "You know what? You're right." That's how bad they were last year.
Way to go, Charlie. Yeah, Michael, watch out. Don't look over your shoulder. Charlie might be gaining on you.
I hope he does. I hope he does. Mike, thanks so much again.
All right, pal. Talk to you next week.
That is Mike Lupica, his weekly segment here on the show, 1-800-919-3776. We want to finish it up with you as the co-host, 1-800-919-3776. Also, LeBron had an hour-long interview with our very own Pat McAfee and settled some scores, I guess, with his words. But we'll talk about some of it and give you the valuations of Major League franchises. It's come out. And some of it might surprise you. 1-800-919-3776. It's KNU right here on The Michael K. Show, 880 ESPN.
Hey everyone, looking for some fun and excitement? You've got to check out Chumba Casino. It's 100% free to play. No purchase required. Enjoy hundreds of thrilling online social casino games anytime, anywhere. Like bingo, slingo, slots, and solitaire. Whether you're chilling at home or on the go, get in on the action. Play now for your chance to redeem some serious prizes at ChumbaCasino.com. Available only to players in the U.S., excluding Washington, Michigan, Montana, Connecticut, and Nevada, and Canada, excluding Quebec. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
For a limited time at Verizon, you can get our best price ever for a single line. Just $45 per month when you bring your phone, which is less than you spend on Too Tired to Cook takeout every week. Get 1 line on unlimited welcome for $45 per month with autopay plus taxes and fees. Visit your local Verizon store by April 2nd to save. $20 monthly promo credits applied over 36 months with a new line on unlimited welcome. In times of congestion, unlimited 5G and 4G LTE may be temporarily slower than other traffic. Domestic data roaming at 2G speeds. Additional terms apply.
1-877 Cards for Kids. KARS Cards for Kids. 1-877 Cards for Kids. Donate your card today.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate your car today at carsforkids.org. Your car, running or not, can be picked up as soon as the next day. No title, no problem. Call 877-CARS-FOR-KIDS or go online at carsforkids.org to donate today.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
Join Team ESPN and Corona this Thursday at Cafe Rubio on Northern Boulevard in Corona, Queens between 3:30 and 5 for plenty of ESPN New York prizes and giveaways. Enjoy the Mets 2025 season opener against the Houston Astros. Come out for a great time with friends, family, and Team ESPN New York. And most importantly, enjoy the Mets season opener between 3:30 and 5 at Cafe Rubio on Northern Boulevard in Corona, Queens.
Thursday on SNY, Soto, Lindor, Gary, Keith, and Ron.
Oh, wow!
Baseball is back.
It's out of here! And the Mets do it again!
Mets-Astros opening day coverage begins Thursday at 3 p.m. only at SNY. There's only one way to stream the Mets on SNY, the MLB app. All the amazing action.
And it's out of here!
With an enhanced viewing experience. Download the MLB app today. The only place to stream SNY Mets games. Major League Baseball trademark license with permission.
Right now at Bay Ridge Honda, the Spring Into a Honda sales event is on. Come and get refreshing savings all month long. Explore incredible deals across their full lineup of Honda cars, trucks, SUVs, hybrids, and EVs. You can save thousands on a new Honda with low APR financing or drive a new Honda with zero down payment. Don't miss the biggest savings of the year during the Spring Into a Honda sales event. Plus, receive thousands in benefits and savings with their Bay Ridge Plus Advantage plan. Upfront pricing, total peace of mind. Visit BayRidgeHonda.com.
New York Presbyterian gives you the healthcare choices you want, like over 450 locations in Manhattan, Brooklyn, Queens, and Westchester. Virtual care that lets you connect with us digitally. World-class doctors from Columbia and Weill Cornell Medicine, and Health Matters, an online source for the latest health and wellness topics and tips. Experience extraordinary healthcare when and where you need it. Stay amazing. New York Presbyterian. Restrictions apply.
Who's cutting down the nets this year? Get in on all the tournament action at ESPN Bet Sportsbook. Go from tracking the latest upsets to placing bets in just a few taps. Right now, new customers can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet Sportsbook app and sign up with promo code JQ to get started today. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
Evan Cohen here. Picking a place to build a life is a lot like selecting a draft pick. Make a decision that will set you up for long-term success. Pick Wisconsin. In Wisconsin, you'll find dynamic career opportunities, beautiful seasons, affordable living, and legendary weekends. From its high quality of life and great schools to its fine arts, culinary, and pro sports scenes, Wisconsin gives you so much to look forward to. That's why you should pick Wisconsin. Learn more about making Wisconsin your home. Visit pickwisconsin.com.
All right, so I want to clear up an erroneous statement. It's not Scottie Pippen Jr., it's Justin Pippen, Scottie's other son. So Scottie Pippen Jr. is actually in the NBA. Justin Pippen has entered the transfer portal despite being on a team that's in the Sweet 16. Knicks with a win tonight against the Clippers will clinch a playoff spot, but that's been a fait accompli for months now. It's where they finish. It's going to be third. Is it going to be fourth? And where they finish is going to determine the road to the Eastern Conference Finals, whether it's doable or it's not doable. All right, so you're going to hear a lot of this as more of it, is handed out in certain ways, aggregated, so to speak. But LeBron was on with Pat McAfee for about an hour in studio. And, one of the things he said that jumped out at me, that Brian Windhorst, who's been covering LeBron since, LeBron was in high school. And, obviously he has ridden that to have a really good career, but he's really good at what he does. It's not just about LeBron. And LeBron essentially told Pat McAfee, this guy's been saying and I'm cleaning it up. This guy's been saying he's my best friend. He said these guys are out of their mind. I've never heard Brian Windhorst ever say that he's LeBron's best friend. Ever. That's just not true. So I don't know why LeBron took the opportunity to be on McAfee to say that about Windhorst was not true. And then he also took a shot at Stephen A. He said, Stephen A's pretty much taking a Taylor Swift type of tour after the video of LeBron going after him at that Laker game. And, he said some things about Stephen A. Again, more of it will become available as we move along. So Forbes today ranked the 2025 most valuable Major League Baseball franchises. So we're not going to give you all 30, but the 30th one is the Marlins, who are valuated at $1.05 billion. And the Rays are next with $1.25 billion. They're 29th. But we'll give you the top 10. All right, so that's fair. The 10th most valuable franchise in Major League Baseball, the LA Angels, $2.75 billion. The 9th most valuable franchise, the Astros, at $2.8 billion. The 8th most valuable, the Atlanta Braves, at $3 billion. The Phillies are 7th at $3.1 billion. The 6th most valuable franchise, the Mets, at $3.2 billion. I mean, is Steve Cohen a good investor? They bought the team just a couple of years ago at 2.2. He's already made $1 billion. Already made $1 billion. Now, he's lost a lot of money, but the valuation of the franchise has gone up $1 billion. The 5th most valuable franchise, the Giants, at $4 billion. 4th is the Cubs at $4.6 billion. Red Sox are 3rd at $4.8 billion. The Dodgers are 2nd at $6.8 billion. And then the Yankees are 1st. And the thing that it shouldn't shock you that the Yankees are the most valuable franchise. They're based in New York. They have their own network, the whole deal. But by how much more than the Dodgers? The Yankees are valued at $8.2 billion. Now, I'm going to tell you something about this list. This is what Forbes looks at, the money they bring in, the money they spend, and they come up with, well, this is the value of the franchise. Let me tell you what. If the Dodgers put the team up for sale, they would get much more than $6.8 billion. If the Yankees, if Hal Steinbrenner and his family put up the Yankees for sale, and I've said this for a number of years, they'd get anywhere over $11 billion. I think that's where the bidding would begin. Because George Steinbrenner said it best. The Yankees are the Mona Lisa. There is no value attached to it, and all you need is one ridiculously rich person with an ego who wants to own the Mona Lisa. Where Jeff Bezos could step in and go, you know what? Hal, here's $15 billion. He doesn't care if they make money. I think the Mets would sell for much more than $3.2 billion. It's all about ego. There are a lot of rich men and women out there that want to be seen. Let's talk about Steve Cohen. When Steve Cohen was making his fortune in the hedge fund industry, he was behind the scenes, man. Nobody knew who Steve Cohen was. I mean, if you watch Billions, that character, Bobby Axelrod, was supposedly based on Steve Cohen, but nobody knew who Steve Cohen was. He bought the Mets, and now he's become a beloved figure. He's very out there. He's become famous. He's become absolutely famous by owning the Mets. So now not only is he a 20 billionaire, but he's one of the more famous people on the planet because he owns the team. So there are a lot of people out there that have a lot of money that you don't even know who they are. Now, Elon Musk is the richest man in the world, and you know who he is because he's out there. He doesn't need to own a team. Jeff Bezos is out there. But there are other people that have tremendous amount of money. You don't know who they are. Some like it that way. I thought that Steve Cohen liked it that way, but it seems like he's enjoying his celebrity, and why shouldn't he? But there are people out there that said, I'd like to be famous too, not just rich. You buy the Yankees, you know what? You become one of the more famous people on the planet. Did people know who George Steinbrenner was until he bought the Yankees? That's the way it works. James Dolan is famous because he owns the Knicks and the Rangers and the Garden, not because he's rich. So these valuations are fun, but all you have to do is have two egomaniac billionaires bidding against each other, and the Yankees would fetch upwards of $11 billion. So would the Dodgers. All right, great show. We'll be back again tomorrow, live from Yankee Stadium as we prepare for opening day from 1 to 3. We have a lot of good things going on. We want you to be there with us. And coming up is Don Hahn and Rosenberg. They have a great show starting in minutes. In the words of Billy Joel, life is a series of hellos and goodbyes. I'm afraid it's time for goodbye again. See everybody. Have a great afternoon and talk to you tomorrow at 1. Hey, spring is just around.